Yes, got an email. Hopefully, it's from the proposal that I sent out to this client after meeting with them twice. Oh, yeah, today's the day. Alrighty. Yep. What?
Fuck me!
What is up, awesome people and awesome filmmakers? Creative Neil here. And as you've seen by that previous clip, I am not too happy. And let me tell you a reason why. Doesn't it really suck when you spend time, you go to a business, and you send out the proposal, you answer a ton of questions, and then they're like, we can't do it. Better yet, we can't do it with no explanation, just nothing whatsoever. So, that's the thing that you run into when you have any sort of business. But when you're passionate about something and you list the benefits and you list the value and you deliver the value to them right up front before you even start the work, it's really hard to swallow and accept the fact that, people, especially if they have the budget, are not going to do the scope of work and the services that you say that you're going to provide to them. It's a really tough thing to go through because you feel like your time is wasted. And in some cases, it may be wasted. But the thing is, guys, never think that your time is not valuable. Um, you know, you never know what that may lead to as far as future business with them, possibly a referral. Because maybe, even though they didn't give you an excuse, maybe they can't afford it and they just didn't want to tell you that. But my whole thing is like, why lead someone on? I think it's very respectful, especially when dealing with people, because you're a person first. It's just to maybe just give a little tad bit, just give a little context of why you can't do it. It's not you, it's me. And that may sound like, oh, you're being a little girl about it, but no, I think it's respectful when you take your time to speak to them on the phone, go see them in person, multiple times in person, lay out a full laid plan and strategy, and then boom, nothing, because your time is valuable. So if you guys are running into this, I have a couple of tips that I suggest. I always start with a phone call, just to kind of have a discovery session and figure out what's the problem that they're having, what's the problem that they want to solve. So from there, once I, kind of, dive not so much deep, but just kind of like a generalization of what's going on. Then at that point, I can move forward after discussing particulars like what the problem is, what is it that their objectives are, what's in their budget, to decide whether or not I'm actually going to move forward with the next step, which is a face-to-face in-person meeting. And that doesn't always mean that you're going to get the job just because you meet with that potential client. But another thing is start with a phone call and then you can decide to meet them in person. So don't waste your time by just running around, going to them every time they say, hey, yeah, sure, stop by, see me, because again, your time is more valuable than that. And that's other time that you could be spending doing other things like pursuing other clients that are not going to waste your time. And I know it's kind of like a 50-50 toss up, and you never know until they actually make payment whether they're going to turn into a client or not. And that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to any business. Secondly, maybe start charging consultation fees, whatever you feel comfortable with, because your time, again, is something that you cannot get back. Whether you spend 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, hopefully no more than that, charge a consultation fee. I think any legitimate business should be able to pay a consultation fee for the time and the value that you're going to give them, because obviously you're not just going to go there and say, hey, I'm going to do this for you and then give me some money and see what happens. You need to lay out strategy. You need to lay out how you're going to get to their objectives and goals, and then you're going to have to lay out what kind of results and when they can expect to see them. And even if you did that and did no more than that as far as actually doing the videos, doing the distribution, or any kind of creative, at least you got paid for your time and they got something in return, which is value. They have a clear laid path of how they're going to pursue solving their problems throughout the scope of work and the kind of services that you outlined. So hopefully they come back to you and they want to come back to you because you did provide so much value. Number 3, don't ever think it's wrong to ask about money. You have to make a living. That should be kind of like the first few questions that you ask is, hey, what's your budget? What are you looking to do with that budget? And more importantly, once you figure out if you can actually work with them. It's okay to turn down certain folks, because if you have a price in your mind of say $5,000 and they only have a $2,000 budget, most likely that's not going to work. Most likely you're going to force yourself and be pushed into the corner of doing more work just to get that client and get that money with the hopes of future business. It's okay not to accept every client. But then if you lay it out right on the table in front, you can actually, kind of strategize and say, well, hey, listen, I'm at 5, you're at 2, right? So let me ask you, what is this going to cost you, like money wise, revenue wise, business wise, if you don't invest the $5,000 in the scope of work that we're talking about? Because you're asking me to do all this for $2,000, or you're just saying that your budget's $2,000, but doesn't that seem a little bit disproportionate to you in relevance to what the work that's going to be done? So establish that ground of budget, ask them what they think the problem is, and then ask them what's it going to cost them if they don't do it. And then again, it's okay. Charge a consultation fee, $100, $200, $300, $500. It's okay, because if in exchange for that monetary value, you give them some knowledge and value as far as a clear path to do what they need to do to solve their problem, I think it all works out in exchange. So yes, I know it's a little bit dramatic at the beginning of the video, but that's just kind of, I'm sure, like how some of us feel sometimes when you work hard on something, you spend your time on it, you send out proposals, and then nothing happens. So don't give up, just move on to the next one. Hopefully they'll come back to you before you go back to them. Also, don't chase anyone, because it looks desperate, and desperation is a stinky cologne. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button if it helped you out. Go ahead and like the video, leave a comment with any kind of objectives that you have when dealing with clients and business, in particular photography and videography, and I will try to help you if I can. Don't know it all. I'm always learning, so I'd like to hear from you guys and see what kind of obstacles that you run in with dealing with potential clients, with proposals and scope of work services. Okay, guys, until next time, take care.